garroted. At her own bachelorette party. Strangled with wire while her drunk bridesmaids are doing karaoke next door. That's messed up even for Florida.
For the last time, the book isn't set in Florida, it's futuristic New York 2061. And while the method is indeed gruesome, it sets the stage for Lieutenant Eve Dallas's investigation in J.D. Robb's passions in death. Book 59, if you can believe it.
59. 59? That's not a hostage situation. Is Nora Roberts even human anymore? Or did she upload her consciousness into a romance writing AI fueled by lukewarm tea and reader tears? Seriously, 59.
While the longevity is notable, Roberts is a prolific author under multiple pseudonyms, though some reviewers are questioning if this one was perhaps phoned in or even ghostwritten.
More like poltergeist. Written, you can feel the boredom rattling its chains. Okay, let's talk characters. Eve Dallas. Grumpy cop. Socially awkward grumping boots. Sounds like every woman I dated in the early 2000s.
That's reductive. Eve is a complex character shaped by significant trauma. Her awkwardness stems from a horrific past, not poor social skills learned at wherever you frequented. Though, I will concede, the fan criticism about her consistently mistreating the butler Somerset after 3 years of living together. That's starting to wear thin. It borders on workplace harassment, frankly.
Harassing the butler? Who cares? My issue is she solves everything because her husband, Roarke, Mr. Perfect Space, Musk billionaire, illegally hacks into, like, everything. That's not detective work, that's cheating. It's like using cheat codes in Grand Theft Auto and calling yourself a criminal mastermind.
His methods are ethically fluid, yes. A point many reviewers raise, is he a romantic ideal or a problematic plot device? The audiobook listeners apparently think he sounds like a conciliatory dweeb, which hardly screams dangerous space tycoon.
A dweeb? See, and Eve sounds like a 40-year smoker with a head cold. Maybe the audiobook narrator just hated this book too. And don't get me started on the partner, Peabody, pink boots. Forcing fashion on a homicide detective. Get out of here. She sounds like my sister trying to give me a makeover before my court date.
Peabody provides necessary levity, though the dynamic where she, a subordinate, often dictates terms to Lieutenant Dallas is questionable police procedure even in 2061. And the killer, described by one reviewer as simply a deucer.
Doozer. Perfect. Dick plus loser. Finally some truth in advertising. Probably confessed because Eve stared at him blankly for 5 minutes and he couldn't take the awkwardness anymore.
Which brings us to the core question. After 59 installments, is Passions in Death actually any good? The fan base is practically eating itself alive over this one.
Eating itself? They should be. You've got people calling it comfort food and brain candy, right next to reviews screaming, worst of the series. And totally phoned in. One poor soul wrote a manifesto asking, know what? After realizing the formula hasn't changed in 30 years. It's like realizing your favorite pizza place has been using cardboard for cheese the whole time.
The polarization is fascinating. Some praise the compelling mystery, others call the case forgettable, but the detail that seems to unite the critics is the murder location, the exact same private room at the exact same club where Eve herself was nearly killed years ago.
Oh, come on. That's not a plot point. That's the author hitting Control-C, Control-V on a previous book's outline. What's next? The killer uses the same brand of Garrett wire Eve bought last week on Space Amazon. It's lazier than my cousin Vinny pretending to look for work.
It does strain credulity, and then there are the vague complaints about too much agenda pushed. What agenda? Mandatory recycling in 2061, universal basic income funded by Roarke.
Probably something about how billionaires are actually sensitive souls. Or maybe it's anti-Butler prejudice. We got a listener email, okay? Fine, I wrote a listener email pretending to be. I've read it all 59 books. I feel empty. Like I finished a giant bag of chips and now I just feel gracy and ashamed. Should I switch to thrillers? What do you tell Brenda?
I tell Brenda that finding comfort and familiarity isn't inherently bad, but perhaps diversifying one's literary diet could be beneficial, though admitting you need literary fentanyl, as another reviewer put it, might suggest a deeper issue.
Deeper issue? The issue is 59 books. It's not deep. It's just long. Like that ridiculous whale book you love.
We are not relitigating Moby Dick, And your assertion that Ahab's obsession was merely a poorly disguised metaphor for maritime tax codes. Stick to the garrots and grumpy cops.
Fine. My rating 2 out of 5 rusty garrot wires. It gets behind the sheer audacity of existing in the word doozer, but loses points for the billionaire dweeb, the repetitive setting, and making me feel bad for a fictional butler.
My rating is 41 confused fan forum posts out of a possible 59 books. It clearly serves a function for its dedicated audience, but the narrative seams are showing, and the reliance on established tropes feels less like comfort and more like complacency.
Complacency. Exactly. Next week, folks, we're diving into a real page-turner, My Roomba, My Lover, an autobiography. Apparently, it's sweeping the nation.
That is absolutely not the title. Join us next time for more literary chaos on Heartbook Radio.